Thanks for watching this portion of Garage Logic today on our YouTube channel, and hit the subscribe button if you wouldn't mind. And also thanks to our friends at Everest Men's Health for sponsoring this. Go to everestmenshealth.com today to see if they can help you with better energy and better health. And catch the Garage Logic podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
I'd love to hear that interview.
This is the last time you will be referred to as Rookie, Chris, Kenny, John, or Joe.
Okay.
I didn't get the memo. What is
Well,
this?
we're gonna do this show.
Oh, we're going to do the he, they.
No.
Oh, my pronoun. Oh,
No.
what's my pronoun?
And write down everybody's
I
name.
want it.
You're going to have your elf name.
Elf. Oh,
Yep.
What?
So we'll start with Kenny, and it's the first letter of your first name and the month you were born. And Kenny, your
April.
first name is Cookie,
Wait,
and you're in April. You don't need your date. I just need the month. You're April,
Yeah.
so you are Kenny McJingles.
No, Cookie McJingle.
I'm sorry, Cookie McJingles. So that's Ken. From now on, he's Cookie McJingles.
Cookie.
Rook,
from the right of the
your name is Matt. So you are
If you have to ask my...
Twinkle is your first name.
Of course it is.
And you're a December kid. Your birthday was yesterday.
Thank you for remembering.
You are, what did I say? Twinkle?
Twinkle.
Twinkle.
Twinkle Pointy Toes.
They really are.
So I got to put down Twinkle. We got to remember everybody's name.
I'm writing them down. Are you writing them down, Cookie?
Yes, I am Twinkle Pointy
What
Toes.
was Rook again?
I'm
Twinkle Pointy Toes.
Oh, yeah, Pointy Toes.
Holy
John Height. Jay, your first is Puddin.
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 Okay.
Puddin. And what's the month of your birth?
January.
Same as me. We're both going to be Puddin' Angel Pants.
Oh, wow. Sounds very dirty.
Puddin' Angel Pants.
So we're going to have the same name, you and I?
Yeah,
Oh,
you and
you're
I
related.
are Puddin' Angel Pants.
Okay.
We're the elves. And Chris, C is Bubbles.
Oh,
Right.
I didn't know he was in town.
Yeah, he wants to
Back in
call.
town
He
for
wants you to
Christmas.
call him. And your month of your birth?
November.
November. So Chris
Sorry, I
is
missed it.
Bubbles Monkey Buns.
Oh, yeah. That was from high school.
I already need to hire a pimp because I should
Okay.
be on the corner with that name.
All right.
What is the last name again?
Monkey Buns.
Monkey Buns.
And finally.
And what do you got, Mr. Angel Pants? What's your first name?
I'm Puddin' Angel Pants. J
Oh, you're
in January.
both.
Yeah, J in January.
You're
Oh,
both
so
the
you-
same.
well,
Oh, wait now. That's confusing. We need...
One of you should have a nickname then.
One of
here.
you should be senior and the other one junior. Who's older here?
I think I am.
Joe's
Putty.
older.
Just Putty.
Or how about we go with what we call one of you by the first name and the other by the last name?
All right.
Sure. This is my brother Puddin' Angel Pants. This
I'll
is
be
my other
Puddin'.
brother,
I'll be Puddin', and John will be Angel Pants.
Okay.
All right, I'm Angel Pants.
All right, so we call you Putin.
Angel Pants.
Puddin'.
Oh, Puddin'.
Puddin', like a pudding.
How y'all doing?
Okay, Bubbles, I've forwarded you.
See, now, here's the problem. I have to look at the list to see who that is.
Why I instruct everybody to make a list, because we're
Okay.
only going to be referred to by our elf names.
I got you, Puddin'.
We all have a job to do
Puddin'.
to help Santa.
Okay,
tonight.
Bubbles. Wait, no, I'm Bubbles.
You're Bubbles. Bubbles, this snowman, this snowman or Santa on fire in Dallas has become a raging controversy.
Oh, no.
And I now have this from a guy named Joe Smith. In your discussion of the snowman on fire at the 1977 NFC Championship game, it was in fact following the 1977 season. The snowman game itself was played January 1, 1978. As for the 1976 season, the Vikings defeated the Rams in the 1976 NFC Championship game on 26 December 1976 at the Met to advance to the Super Bowl. That would have been Super Bowl 11, and that was played in the Rose Bowl, if I recall, in which the Vikings... in which the Vikings
Dang
were
it,
there.
Johnny.
No Puddin'.
shoot.
They weren't.
Angel Pants.
They were defeated by Oakland on the 9th of January. That's how early the Super Bowl was in 1977. During the following season, 1977, the Vikings lost the NFC title game to the Cowboys, who went on to beat the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 12 on 15 January 1978. Regarding the snowman, since the game was played on New Year's Day, might the guy who caught fire still have been recovering from the previous night's excesses and didn't know where he was or what he was doing? God only knows. I did a Google segment of the video, and I can see why Bubbles was laughing. Only at the football game, huh? Merry Christmas to you all and the best in 2022. Frequent emailer Joel from Duluth. And then I got a second Bubbles, which I forwarded to you. It's the burning snowman being interviewed.
Yes.
Didn't I?
Yeah, I have that.
All right.
Is there a certain point, or
I have not listened to it.
well, that's what I was going to ask you because it's a 27-minute.
What's my name?
Angel Pants.
Putin?
No, he's Puddin.
I'm Puddin.
He's Puddin.
Puddin.
John's Angel Pants.
That's right. I crossed off Putin.
Kenny is Cookie McJingles.
Right.
And Rook is Twinkle Pointy Toes.
Yep.
But it's a 27-minute interview.
Oh, then never mind.
Well, did you want to hear part of it?
Well, let's just give me a snippet and I'll tell you, Bubbles, if it's worth playing.
Okay. This is the Cowboy Life podcast.
Right.
Episode number 28 of A Cowboy Life is coming right up. But first, I want to
from
tell you about
Marconi?
our new sponsor, Shields.
No, we're not.
Shields
Sponsor.
coming
No,
today is a
Shields.
follow-up to a story that we did about a month ago. Episode number 24 was called Snowman on Fire, and it was an account of an unfortunate accident at a Cowboys playoff game in 1978.
Okay, so
The story was very well told by Lieutenant Lorenzo Chavez of the Irving Fire Department. The facts came courtesy of reports that have been housed in their Hall of Records for nearly 40 years. The night before we made our first snowman story public, I got a call as I sat in my office about
I'm
10
bored.
p.m. in the dark.
Turn this
finding
off.
Shut up,
the
Cookie.
details Of Lieutenant Chavez's well-told account of Daniel Yoder's harrowing day at Texas Stadium in 1978. The voice on the other end of the call was totally unexpected because it was a guy I had tried for months to find, and I'd totally given up on.
This podcast
It
ain't
was
going
Daniel
nowhere.
Yoder
Yeah,
himself.
kill this
Dan
thing,
and I talked.
Bubbles.
Whatever, Bubbles, whatever.
All right. Sorry, Angel.
Wow.
Let's
Angel
just say I saw something on fire covering a game in Dallas.
Yes. We're not
Someone.
Like Rookie's impression.
Excuse me?
It was someone. It was like Twinkle's impression.
Twinkle.
It was something we just didn't know what.
That's quite a lot of, that's a long name. Can you just shorten it to Twink?
No,
Would
you're
that be
Twinkle.
okay?
Twinkle
Would that
Pointy
be okay? Maybe.
That one went rocking over his head.
Maybe not. Okay.
Yes,
Puddin',
Cookie. Yes.
Did you get any hate mail regarding something I said yesterday?
I have not, Cookie.
Yeah, guys, Twinkle, Angel Pants, Bubbles,
Yeah.
Puddin'. Did I do that Wayne Gretzky skating in a local rink in Lake Minnetonka with a kid? Did I do that on the air or off the air?
I believe it was on the air.
On the air, yeah.
It was on the air?
Yeah.
So I went home and asked a roommate about this, and she goes, no. And I said, yeah, your sister told me this story. And she said, no. And we looked it up. And it's, it was on the Google. It's Sidney Crosby, and it's Quebec.
I can't even say close enough. It's a completely different
Yeah,
country.
That's really,
Yeah,
that's far off.
and evidently Sid was driving by or something. He saw a kid shooting pucks. He pulled over, strapped up, and went out there and played with him, and it made all the papers.
Well, wouldn't it have stood to reason that Crosby might have been in town? Didn't he go to Shattuck?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Quebec. I have a wonderful email from Canada. Courtney from Canada, who writes kind of a Christmas story. I wanted to relate an incident my husband and I witnessed a few summers ago. While waiting for our coffees in a drive-through line, we noticed a car pull into the handicap spot in front of the bank next door. An able-looking young woman got out and walked into the bank. A few minutes later, she emerged from the bank and backed her car right into the pickup truck parked across from her.
Oh.
She got out and looked around in panic, apparently unsure of what to do next. The bank door opened and a guy in a wheelchair wheeled himself across the lot towards his truck, which she had just crashed into.
Oh, boy.
He looked amused by the situation as he assessed the damage, which seemed to be minor, then waved her away with a smile. She drove away in apparent relief and hopefully some embarrassment. We watched in astonishment as he pulled himself up out of his wheelchair using a bar on the side of his truck. He then held himself upright with one arm while efficiently collapsing his wheelchair and swinging it up into the bed of the pickup truck with the other arm.
Damn.
Then he hoisted himself up into the driver's seat. This man apparently didn't feel disabled enough to use the handicap parking spot. He didn't even have a handicap tag on his rearview mirror. As he drove away, we noticed his bumper sticker. It read, "It's almost Christmas."
Wow.
That's kind of sweet, isn't it?
That's really nice.
Sure is.
What a
Puddin'.
badass.
Sure is.
Thanks, Cook.
You know, one of the things that I used to love doing when we worked on the sports radio station was say that Sidney Crosby was from Faribault and watch the hate mail just roll in.
Where was he from?
Cole Harbor, Nova Scotia.
Okay.
I don't know why I know that, but
You know where Bobby Orr was from? Why I remember it, and I'll remember it all my life, and I have.
Why is
Parry Sound, Ontario.
Puddin', why do you retain that?
I don't know. He's taken from his home at 15.
Oh, wow. And
It worked out for him.
Like a Shattuck thing.
It worked out for him.
Hey, we all have a beef with Twink that we all need to discuss.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It's too bad
Twink-
nobody was born in September because your last name would be Pickle Pants.
I would like that.
So, Pointy Toes, you've been doing this awful impersonation. You're going to cancel Christmas. Give it to us once.
We might have to cancel Christmas.
I was hoping you were going to go with, I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah, I don't really feel it.
Okay.
So
So,
pay extra for that.
your buddy Cookie McJingles here, I've always assumed that was one of your awful impersonations of Jimmy Stewart. And I have never made it all the way through It's a Wonderful Life because that's one of the worst Capra movies ever made.
Oh, I love it.
It's a great
It's an awful movie.
Cookie, you're just a grunch, a Grinch,
Crunch.
a Grinch.
So, we come to find out that it's not from A Wonderful Life, and
No.
it's not Jimmy Stewart.
No.
It's from...
Mary, don't you know me? There's two distinct voices there. Jojo's pedals.
It's actually from, what is it from?
It's from Rudolph.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Now,
And
the other
it's-
part, though, Kenny, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I don't think I've seen this one either. Is this the one with Burl Ives?
Santa
Yes.
is the one who said we might have
Yes.
to cancel Christmas, but you're using the voice apparently from a completely different show. Something about something
No,
in the
he's
box?
doing it from a different character.
Yeah.
In the
See,
show.
Yes, because there are several. The one elf on the Misfit toys.
Angel Pants.
Nobody wants a Charlie in the box. Remember when they go to the land of Misfit
Not
toys?
not really,
And the
Twink.
lead says, nobody wants a Charlie in the
No,
box.
Twinkle, I don't recall that.
Yeah, there's some great. And the Yukon Cornelius.
But the point is, Rook, you've been using the wrong character to say Christmas is canceled.
But I never verbalized that it was Jimmy Stewart, even though it sounds like him.
And see,
No, but
But you're
The
missing the
character-
point, Twink.
the character
Did I
in
do a
the
Mickey
show,
Rooney? Are you accusing me of doing a Mickey Rooney? Where he says the bear?
Angel Pants, help him out.
the character who says it is Santa Claus in the show, and he says it like this: "We might have to cancel Christmas."
Right.
He doesn't do anything like that.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything like that.
Yeah, but I have a different read. I have a different perspective on that. Now that I've been in television for some time, my inner working comes out.
You
here.
gave it a twinkle twist, in other words.
you know, and I think in the spirit of a Twinkle impersonation,
Twink's okay.
I think it has to be adapted. Now, this is as it is going forward. I think you're right. You need to stay consistent.
Am I going to keep the crowd if I say, "Oh, Rudolph, we may have to cancel"?
Yeah, see, he doesn't have the same
There's
ring
not
to
really
it.
a crowd, Cookie, that we're trying to keep. It's
No.
a stupid television show.
But if a kid is walking
No,
by,
you're
as his-
Twinkle. You're not Cookie. Cookie's Kenny.
if a kid
I
is
want to be
walking,
known as Daddy or Bear.
No, you're Cookie.
you be Bear, I'll be Twink, and we'll leave together.
Yeah.
And Bubbles just got back to town.
Bubbles is looking in the window.
I don't want to be at this
But
party.
if some kid walks by and their dad is listening to the Garage Logic podcast and he hears, "We might have to cancel Christmas," that's going to attract his attention.
It
Why in
pops.
the hell?
Hey, really quick before we move on, Joe.
Oh, wait, what's his name?
Dang it.
Puddin'.
Puddin'. He's Puddin'.
He really wants them to go to Russia.
Before we move on, we do need to establish another elf name for our 11 o'clock guest.
Patrick would be.
P.
October.
Write it down.
He's October 16th.
Yeah, he's October. Patrick would be. Where's P on here? Jingle.
Oh, boy.
And October is.
Give me a good one.
He'll be Jingle Sparkly Toes.
Sparkly toe.
And no, we're not going to tell him that. We're just going to call him Jingle Sparkly Toes till he gets to the point where he says,
Why are you calling?
Why are you calling?
What is this brand
I
of
don't know any
salutation?
bleeping jingle Sparky Toes.
And by the way,
send you a
Rook,
picture.
sorry, by the way, Twink, I don't know if you heard my recommendation yesterday, but I had said maybe Jingle Sparkly Toes should call in instead of telling a joke, should do 'Twas the Night
No,
Before
we're not gonna
Christmas.
do that.
God, too much twink.
I have a note. I have a Christmas story from Bill Stein. I don't know Bill's birthday month, but his first name as an elf would be Nipper.
Nipper.
You Nipper, you brought her.
Right.
Oh,
Here's a
Bubbles.
here's a mostly true story from our little town. As Christmas approaches, the local cooks are preparing for lutefisk and lefse season. Years ago, my brother John married into a wonderful Norwegian family of lefse and lutefisk fanatics. All of this was quite an exotic experience for a young man of German extraction, nurtured on Schell's beer, Christmas Stalin, Snickerdoodles, sauerkraut, sauerbraten, and the best of the wursts. Knockwurst, bratwurst, and liverwurst, all too spicy for the Norwegian palate. John's bride, Lori's family lived in a compound of lake cabins near Fertile, Minnesota. Lori's sister was in charge of cooking the lutefisk at her cabin and then bringing it to their parents' house about a mile away for the great Christmas feast. The sights and smells of the preparation of the lutefisk were a great revelation to my brother. At the brink of olfactory overload for John, the lutefisk was finally ready. Unfortunately, there had been a great blizzard that morning, quite common on the fertile plains of Fertile, and the roads were impassable. Not to worry, they would take the lutefisk by snowmobile to the Great Fisk. The lutefisk was placed in a sturdy cooler for the journey. Cooler's the greatest invention of all time. It keeps hot things hot and cold things cold, but how does it know the difference? I've wondered the same thing. Anyway, John was given the honor of holding the cooler as he sat on the back of his brother-in-law Lars' sled. Unfortunately, the wind had whipped the snow into a mass of moguls, making for a very exciting and exceedingly bone-jarring ride. John held onto the cooler manfully, and the lutefisk arrived safely. Safe, but it had been transformed by the jolting ride from its usual gelatinous consistency into something resembling soup. The Norwegians were undeterred. We wouldn't have a state of Minnesota if the Norwegians were easily deterred. So they served the lutefisk in bowls with extra melted butter. Pardon me while I gag.
Yeah, I'm a melted butter guy.
The funny thing was they all found it delicious and have tried to duplicate it each subsequent Christmas with varying success. That is, until now. John and Lori's oldest son, Bob, has become quite an amateur gourmet chef. He routinely posts pictures of his latest creations on Facebook. About a year ago, Bob discovered the trendy new cooking method known as sous vide. Sous vide involves sealing meat or fish in a plastic bag and cooking it in a water bath for hours at low heat, usually 120 degrees or so. In the case of a steak, it is then removed from the bath and taken out of the bag and put on the grill for a few minutes aside. People have tried it, swear that it is the best steak they have ever had. Bob reasoned that lutefisk sous vide was the way to go. Now, after its 3-hour water bath, all Bob had to do was give the bag a vigorous shaking and pour it out down to its liquid perfection. Lori is famous for her lefse making skills. She and her family prefer to eat it with butter and cinnamon sugar. Pretty spicy for a Norwegian.
Yeah,
I,
right.
however, discovered that it makes a pretty good soft taco shell, which her clan considers to be the height of heresy. Speaking of heresy, Pastor Corliss Apple of the Little Pink Church of the Nestorian Heresy and her congregation have been spending long hours rehearsing their annual Christmas pageant. The second grade students will be providing the actors for this year's production. Little Alice Freen will be Mary. Oliver Lishness will be Joseph. The Peterson triplets, Lars, Ragnar, and Fred, will be the sheep. Colleen Rodriguez-Goldberg will be the angel. And once again, the baby Jesus will be portrayed by a 60-watt light bulb. All of us in Lard Lake wish you and yours a blessed Christmas and a peaceful and healthy New Year. Nipper Stein.